Hey NFL fans, before we dive into today's hottest stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. From NFL News Now, the Dallas Cowboys finally gave their fanbase a reason to breathe again, even if just for a moment, after that dominant Week 11 win over the Las Vegas Raiders. And look, Cowboys Nation has been around the block a few too many times to start booking playoff flights in November, but this one felt different. This one felt like the kind of game that either marks the start of a turnaround or becomes the chapter everyone looks back on saying, man, they almost had something there. For now, though, the vibes are high, the energy is real, and the Cowboys, for the first time all season, have officially entered the NFL playoff picture. Just seeing that graphic pop up on TV is enough to make half the fanbase scream and the other half mutter, "Don't do this to us again." But technically, mathematically, spiritually, Dallas is in the hunt, and after everything this team has gone through, from injuries to meltdowns to straight-up confusion at times, being in that conversation feels like a breath of oxygen in a season that's looked suffocating. More often than not, that Monday Night Football win wasn't just a win, it was a message. It was the Cowboys showing that when they're locked in, when the offense is firing, when the defense isn't giving up chunk plays like they're on clearance, this team can look like one of the most explosive squads in the league. But as every Cowboys fan knows, the problem hasn't been talent. The problem has been stringing it all together. The problem has been the inconsistency that pops up like an unwanted commercial break every time things start going well. We've seen it before. Dallas pulls off a big, emotional, nationally televised performance. The country starts talking. The influencers start posting "There are the Cowboys back" thumbnails. And then boom, the next week they drop a winnable game by the touchdowns. And everyone suddenly forgets how to look each other in the eye. But here's the thing, the Cowboys still have 7 games left. 7 games to figure out who they are. 7 games to show whether Monday night was a spark or another false alarm. And standing in front of them, looming like a movie villain waiting at the end of the hallway, is a make-or-break stretch of matchups that will either bury them or launch them into a true playoff run. Up first, the Philadelphia Eagles, sitting at 8-2 and looking every bit like the reigning Super Bowl champions they are. No one's pretending that beating Philly is easy, but the game being at home helps. AT&T Stadium, for all the jokes about it being a tourist attraction, becomes a cauldron when the Cowboys start fast. And if Dallas can find a way to punch the Eagles early, things could get interesting real quick. Dak Prescott, who looked more confident Monday night than he has in weeks, said after the game that it wouldn't be crazy to think this team could turn tragedy into triumph. And for a quarterback who's taken more criticism than most players in the league, hearing that tone of belief felt refreshing. Dak knows what's at stake. He knows his legacy, the season, and possibly the future of this entire roster all hinge on these next few weeks. But he also knows something fans often forget. Momentum is real in the NFL. You catch a spark, and suddenly everything starts clicking. Protections get cleaner, routes feel sharper, play calls flow naturally, and Monday night, it felt like the Cowboys caught something, not lightning in a bottle, but maybe, just maybe, the first flicker of it. But it's not just Dak who made headlines this week. One of the biggest storylines to come out of that Raiders game wasn't the point total, wasn't the pass rush, wasn't even the playoff graphic. It was the long-awaited debut of rookie corner Shaven Revel. After nearly a full year away from football due to a knee injury that ended his college career early, Revel finally stepped onto an NFL field under the bright lights of Monday Night Football. Imagine that. You spend months rehabbing, watching from the sidelines, hearing people question whether you'll ever be the same, and then suddenly you're out there with the world watching. He admitted the butterflies were real, but the moment he locked in, you could see flashes of why Dallas drafted him in the 3rd round. Revel talked afterward about shaking off the nerves, saying he didn't listen to the noise, didn't worry about outside doubt, just trusted his preparation and fed off the support of his family. You could hear the emotion in his voice, not fear, but relief. Relief that he showed he belonged. Relief that all those rehab sessions weren't just for nothing. And the funniest part, before going out there for his first NFL snaps, the rookie had Eminem's "Till I Collapse" blasting in his headphones. That's the kind of pre-game energy Cowboys fans love to hear. Raw, hungry, focused energy. He said the game felt fast, almost too fast, but considering it was his first action in a year, that's normal. What's important is that he settled down, trusted his instincts, and looked solid, not perfect, not shut down level, but solid, exactly what you want from a rookie stepping into real action for the first time. And now he's heading straight into a matchup against the Eagles, which is basically the NFL's version of being thrown from the kiddie pool into the deep end with a weight belt on. But sometimes that's how great players are forged. You get tested early, you get tested hard, and you either rise or get steamrolled. Revel has the tools, he has the composure, and most importantly, he now has that first game adrenaline out of his system. The Cowboys need him. 2. This defense has been revamped, rebuilt, reimagined, whatever word you want, but it still needs reliable depth in the secondary. If Revel continues to grow, continues to trust himself, he could become one of the quiet X factors in this final playoff push. Looking ahead at the schedule, it's not sunshine and cupcakes. After the Eagles comes Thanksgiving Day against the Kansas City Chiefs, who sit at 5-5 but remain one of the most dangerous teams in football. Simply because Patrick Mahomes exists, you cannot overlook that game. Then comes a road trip to face the Detroit Lions, who at 6-4 are physical, angry, and playing like a team tired of being overlooked. After that, it's the Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, and Giants, a mix of winnable games, potential traps, and division rivalries that could go sideways if the Cowboys don't stay focused. What gives fans hope is the structure of the schedule itself. The toughest opponents, Philly and Kansas City, are coming to Dallas instead of forcing the Cowboys into hostile environments. And the road games, Washington and New York, are about as favorable as late-season road trips get. If the Cowboys take care of business, if they don't play down to their opponents, if the coaching stays sharp and the defense keeps supporting Dak, then this team has a legitimate path. Not guaranteed, not easy, but real. The truth is, everything about this season now rides on consistency. Can the Cowboys be the version of themselves that dominated Monday night? Can the rookies keep growing? Can the defense keep hitting? Can Dak stay in that calm, locked-in mindset? If so, then this final stretch could be the story fans tell for years. The moment Dallas dug deep and found something special inside themselves. But if not, if Monday night was just another high before another low, then this season will fade into the long list of almost years that Cowboys fans know too well. The good news, right now, today, in this moment, the story is still being written. The Cowboys are in the hunt. The locker room feels united, the young players are stepping up, and the energy around this team finally feels alive again. For now, all eyes turn to Week 12, Eagles versus Cowboys, stakes sky high, playoffs on the line. A rookie corner ready for his next test, a quarterback trying to rewrite his season, a fan base holding its breath, and a team that, at long last, looks ready to fight for something bigger. Keep watching as we analyze more details about some rumors. The sports world is buzzing with a storm that could shake the very foundations of the NFL. And at the center of it all is none other than Jerry Jones, the iconic and controversial owner of the Dallas Cowboys. If you thought you had seen it all when it comes to the larger-than-life persona of Jones, this latest revelation might just leave you speechless. A message that allegedly originated from Jones himself has surfaced, claiming to show an attempt to sway the judgment of a referee in favor of the Cowboys, and the implications are nothing short of explosive. Within minutes of the message circulating online, social media lit up with heated debates, fan reactions ranging from disbelief to outrage, and experts scrambling to unpack the potential consequences for both the team and the league. The NFL, known for its strict regulatory framework and zero-tolerance approach to violations of integrity, has already responded, promising a heavy-handed punishment for anyone found guilty of such actions. The mere suggestion that a figure of Jones' stature could be implicated in manipulating game outcomes has sent shockwaves through the entire sports community, sparking a frenzy of speculation, analysis, and even conspiracy theories. Sources close to the situation have hinted that the message in question was highly targeted, directed at a referee whose recent calls in previous games had been controversial, making the alleged approach particularly sensitive. While the authenticity of the message is still under scrutiny, insiders suggest that the content is chilling enough to warrant serious investigation. Jerry Jones, a man known for his unfiltered approach to management and his almost obsessive desire for victory, has long been a polarizing figure in the NFL. Fans of the Cowboys admire his dedication to the team and his relentless pursuit of success, while critics have often pointed to his interventions in coaching decisions and draft strategies as evidence of an overbearing influence now. This alleged attempt to interfere directly with officiating raises questions, not only about the boundaries of ownership, but also about the mechanisms the NFL has in place to protect the integrity of the game. The rumor mill surrounding this incident has been relentless. Analysts and commentators are dissecting every aspect of Jones' career to understand how this situation could have come to be. Some speculate that the pressures of maintaining a winning team in a league as competitive as the NFL might have driven Jones to take desperate measures, while others argue that this is a blatant overreach, a step too far even for an owner with decades of influence. Discussions online range from the possible legal ramifications to the damage this could inflict on the Cowboys brand. Social media platforms have been inundated with hashtags demanding accountability, with fans from across the country weighing in on whether such behavior, if confirmed, should result in fines, suspensions, or even more severe consequences. Commentators are questioning the culture of professional sports, asking whether success at any cost is implicitly tolerated, or whether the NFL's threat of punishment will be enough to maintain its standards, adding fuel to the fire. Some insiders claim that this is not the first time Jones has been accused of trying to exert undue influence over officials or decision-making processes. While previous incidents were largely anecdotal or dismissed as speculation, the circulation of this message presents something tangible that could potentially be verified. The narrative has quickly escalated into a storyline straight out of a sports drama, with fans imagining scenarios in which the Cowboys' fortunes might have been affected by actions behind the scenes. The debate has extended beyond just fans and analysts. Former players, referees, and even NFL executives have weighed in, each offering perspectives that paint a complex picture of power, influence, and the delicate balance between competition and ethics. The NFL, aware of the potential PR nightmare this represents, has reportedly begun internal investigations, reaching out to officials, reviewing communications, and considering the appropriate disciplinary measures that will send a clear message to the league and its stakeholders. One of the most intriguing aspects of this unfolding story is the uncertainty surrounding the exact details of the message. While snippets have been leaked online, no full context has been confirmed, leaving room for interpretations, exaggerations, and outright fabrications. The ambiguity has only heightened public interest, as fans and critics alike debate what was intended, what was actually said, and how seriously it should be taken. The media coverage has been relentless, with sports networks dedicating segments to theorizing about the potential fallout. While talk shows speculate on what Jones' response might be, some suggest that his history of aggressive negotiation tactics and confrontational public persona could mean he will openly confront the allegations, perhaps attempting to dismiss them as miscommunication or taken out of context. Others believe that if the message is indeed genuine, the NFL will have no choice but to enforce strict penalties. Regardless of Jones' status or the Cowboys' market power, the ripple effects of this controversy could extend far beyond the Cowboys or the current season. League-wide, owners and teams may find themselves under closer scrutiny, knowing that even the perception of impropriety could spark investigations and fan outrage. Referees, too, might feel the pressure of increased vigilance as the integrity of their decisions becomes a focal point in a scandal that touches on the credibility of the sport itself. For the Cowboys, the situation presents a dual challenge: defending their owner's reputation while maintaining focus on performance and team cohesion amid a media storm. Speculation abounds regarding internal dynamics within the franchise, with insiders hinting at tension between management, coaches, and players as they navigate the optics of the scandal. The narrative has become so pervasive that casual fans are now discussing Jerry Jones in terms normally reserved for political figures or corporate leaders facing ethical dilemmas, illustrating just how deeply this rumor has penetrated the public consciousness. Even international audiences are starting to pick up on the story, with coverage extending to sports networks abroad and discussions on global platforms. Where the NFL has been expanding its footprint, the cultural weight of the scandal is notable, as it touches on universal themes of fairness, accountability, and the seductive power of influence. Pundits have pointed out that the NFL's response will likely set a precedent for how similar situations are handled in the future, not just in football but in professional sports as a whole. If the league's punishment is severe, it could serve as a cautionary tale to other owners, executives, and agents, reinforcing the idea that no one is above the rules. Conversely, if the consequences are perceived as lenient or symbolic. The situation could undermine public confidence, leaving fans questioning the authenticity of outcomes and the integrity of the league itself, as the rumor continues to dominate headlines. The human element of the story cannot be ignored. Jerry Jones, a figure who has cultivated a larger-than-life persona for decades, is now facing the scrutiny of an entire industry, with every gesture, statement, and past decision re-examined. Under the microscope of suspicion, analysts have begun drawing parallels to historical incidents in sports where ownership influence led to controversies, weighing the potential impact on legacy, Hall of Fame considerations, and future negotiations. Meanwhile, fan communities are fiercely divided, with some defending Jones' actions as the result of passionate commitment to winning, and others condemning them as unethical and damaging to the sport. The tension is palpable, with online forums, podcasts, and video commentaries contributing to a non-stop narrative that seems almost designed to mimic the intensity and drama of an NFL playoff game. The unfolding saga has all the elements of a blockbuster, a charismatic and controversial central figure, a tantalizing hint of scandal, immediate and widespread public engagement, and the looming presence of a governing authority promising to assert control. The NFL's handling of the situation is being watched with hawk-like precision as fans, media, and insiders alike speculate on the consequences and the message it will send to other stakeholders. The story has become more than a simple report of a leaked message. It has evolved into a complex drama of power, influence, and accountability that could define not only Jerry Jones' legacy, but also the perception of the Dallas Cowboys and the league itself as the days unfold. The rumor will continue to circulate, debated, dissected, and sensationalized, leaving everyone involved on edge and the public clamoring for answers that may take months to fully materialize. In the meantime, the Cowboys organization finds itself navigating a precarious landscape, balancing the need to maintain competitive performance on the field with the pressing imperative to respond to one of the most explosive and potentially damaging stories the league has seen in years. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow NFL fans. Stay tuned for more updates, only here on NFL News Now.